Yo, guys, it's Matrix here, coach of the Welsh Waylords. But again, we are not bringing you my own content. We are bringing you the Week 5 live premiere for the VDL Season 5 Draft League. Joining me this week, it is Ted. Say hello.
Hello, guys. I'm at it again with one of these premieres.
Yes, and I think this is now my second, maybe my third live commentary for the premieres. I'm doing quite well for myself this season. I'm getting a few people allow me to commentate, even though I mess up the audio sometimes. This is your one of your third or fourth as well. You've been commentating for Gumi in that as well,
Yeah,
haven't you?
yeah, and I this is like second season I've been doing premieres since I did not second season, but this is the second season I've done commentary for the VDL.
Yeah. Um, I know I did a bit of commentary last season, didn't do too much. I've really jumped into it this season though, because honestly, both I'm sure you understand the same as me. Missing out on playing some of these matches because I'm not playing this season, you're not playing this season, and it's just such a fun league to be a part of. So
Yeah,
any way possible to be involved. Okay, so this week we are bringing you the matchup between two previous champions, the semi-final match of season 4. Back again, this time in the regular season, we have got Kalopsia of the Norwegian Darmanitans, and this time I am making sure to let you guys know he is from he's Norwegian, not what I made a mistake of in the last video, and he is against the season 3 champion, season 3
yeah,
champion,
yeah,
Otto,
yeah,
and the Pacific Slowbros. One of the biggest, the most hyped matches of this season, I'd say.
yeah, definitely. Especially what we saw in the semifinal match as last season, Kalopsia managed to get that win and move on to the finals. Again, here I'm hoping to see a lot of heartfelt action, especially within the matches. I fully expect either one of them to get this win, especially Kalopsia coming off a loss. This would definitely help him in his conquest into making back into the playoffs.
Yeah, I believe Klopsia is currently 3-1, whereas Otto is 4-0. However, last season Otto got suffered 2 losses, both to Kalopsia, once in regular season, once in playoffs. So I'm sure Otto is going to be trying his best here. And based on memory alone, the matchup seems to be quite favourable to Kalopsia, with his Urshifu countering the Indidi. The He's got the Salmons, which matches up badly against Tapu Lele. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's also a matchup of Psychic Terrain, isn't it? We've got the Psychic
Yeah,
Terrain abusers from both sides here.
yeah. But it's again, terrain is a big factor, especially in this format where there's no Dynamax. So the terrain we've seen a lot of weather wars, terrain wars, especially in this league, but specifically in this match is definitely going to be a key factor. Whoever wins
Yes.
this set.
At least you'd hope so. We'll find out soon. I know that Kalopsia also has. Is it Thwacky he has? So he has an alternative terrain with the grassy terrain,
Yep.
which puts a lot of pressure on some of the water mons such as Primarina and Omastar that Otto has. I know he's also Kalopsia has Tauros, which is a cool little intimidator, pretty fast. So yeah, but let's have a look and see what they've actually brought for us this week. Let's swap over now. We've got the players searching for each other here. Let's just skip to the aforementioned mark as to where they connect. There we go. Okay, so we see the Urshifu Tapu Lele, Raikou Starmie, Tauros, and the Thwacky. So we do see, as predicted, this terrain mode.
Yeah, it's a little interesting that he decided to pair up the Tapu Lele with the Urshifu. It kind of hinders the Urshifu, especially not being able to use Sucker Punch. But again, especially like on auto side, if Bisharp is holding Sucker Punch, it won't be able to use that.
Yes, I always find that Urshifu is finds it a little bit awkward to be paired with a psychic terrain mode for exactly what you just said there. I do think looking at these teams now, I've just paused the video for a second so we can actually digest the matchup. Seeing I know Otto is really quick to have selected his four here. We've got interesting tech, if to be fair. We've got the Indeedee with Rocky Helmet, which I presume is for the Urshifu. Um, as maybe Thwacky and Taurus as well. They're the only real monster who's going to be hitting this for physical damage. Iapa Berry Articuno, that's nice. Steelix with a Citrus Berry. Steelix actually matches up really well against the Raikou and the Tapu Lele here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the Steelix because when I'm in my other Regis League, I have Steelix and I have won a couple games with it. So I'm very excited to see this set. And I believe Matrix, if you keep watch with the XDL, Steelix is very good there as well in that league.
Yeah, I've always found Steelix. I think Steelix is one of these trickier mons to really get the best out of. You've got to be a little bit more tactful with how you play it. It's very defensive and it can be kind of offensive. Typically needing a bit of setup if you want to be really to really allow it to shine, which obviously Slowbros can do with this Indeedee. We've got the Blaziken he's brought with him, which honestly Blaziken to me is such a good mon, but doesn't match up overly well against the Starmie and the Tapu Lele. Um, we've got the Psychic Seed Gorygeist, which I would imagine is there solely to check the Urshifu, with it having the Psychic Seed as well to help with some of the more special orientated mons. And then lastly, Bisharp, which I really like Bisharp.
Yeah, has a fairly decent matchup into Kalopsia's team. Other than the Urshifu, I think it has a good matchup here.
Mm-hmm. So we'll get this match. I'll unpause the match and we'll just see how it goes. We see he's going to be leading the Gorygeist and indeed quite a defensive lead. So let's have a look. I wonder what Kalopsia would do here. Would be pretty safe to lead the Tapu Lele maybe, but I see the Slowbros have brought two of their Steel Mons specifically to deter this Tapu Lele up.
Now it's gonna be very interesting for the Starmie. Um, I don't know especially from Kalopsia's side if we've seen the Trick Room option, especially coming from the Starmie to specifically counter this kind of Trick Room oriented team.
Yeah.
It is possible, but again, the Starmie could be offensive or even support with Icy Wind or any of its support moves it has in its arsenal.
And I do think that I said before about Corey guys checking the Urshifu. Well, obviously, Wicked Blow's pretty strong against it, but it does check it for its physical moves against it, especially for the fighting moves for the steel types. I think, as you say there, like that lead with the Gorygeist and the Indeedee, it's just going to be trying to be as safe as possible to try and set this trick room for the Steelix and the Bisharp in the back. So maybe Kalopsia recognizes this. Oh, we do see the Tapu Lele lead. How's the video for you? Are you able to see it pretty well?
Yeah, yeah,
Good,
everything's
good. Just good to know. Get this Psychic Surge off. Well, hopefully this Gorygeist is Frisk, so we get to see these items. Frisk being an amazing draft ability. Yeah. Choice Scarf, Tapu Lele, and Citrus Berry Raikou. And we see the
Okay, so we
sorry.
see fake out from the Ndidi, which is
Yes, that's what I was
something
about to
you
say.
rarely
Yes.
never see. So that's interesting.
It escapes me now who on the opposing team is immune to the terrain that Kalopsia's brought. But maybe it's in case he brings the Thwacky or something for this terrain wars. We also don't see a expanding force on the Indeedee.
So Taurus comes in, assuming this is intimidate. Yeah, as we said, is intimidate.
Indeed, you're going for the follow me. I don't know what. I think this trick room is going up here, and it's not. He did go for trick room, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not a lot there that he could have done. I think he recognized Kalopsia recognized that this trick room was going to be almost guaranteed to go up, or he'd be hit by a super effective ghost type move from the Gorygeist. So it was safe to just preserve the type of Lele by switching out into the normal type Taurus. And it looks like we're going for a
Now
hard
here,
switch.
if Colossia plays this right and he hits, then I believe indeed he's switching out into Steelix. I'm pretty sure a Taurus gets close combat, so um, if it hits that into the slot, that's going to do a lot of damage. Okay, so well, either way, it's going to do a lot of damage to the Steelix if we do
Yeah,
that.
although it'd be very ballsy to hit a close combat
Yeah,
off
yeah,
into a
yeah,
ghost type.
yeah.
Oh, we're going for the double
I
switch. Interesting.
okay. Okay,
Indeed, he
so
just go for
we
the
see
follow me.
the
Yep. Just to guarantee the safe switching of the Steelix here.
oh,
We
and
get
we see the paralysis. Okay, that's big right there.
and oh, Shadow Ball. So that was the move. I missed the Shadow Ball the first time around. I knew it wasn't a expanding force, but Shadow Ball actually being able to hit this Tapu Lele, it really does seem that the Slowbros are really respecting this Tapu Lele of the opponent's side.
Yeah, especially with the scarf. We don't at the moment we don't know any of its moves. So
Mhm.
especially with whatever it's gonna hit Steelix or Indeedee with is gonna hit really hard.
Well, we actually haven't seen the Slowbros even go for an attack yet. They've just been using redirection, trick room. They're switching out. So this will be the first time they actually go for an attack.
Yeah. And here I'm forgetting that Trick Room is up. Uh, Tapu Lele is gonna go last, and Heavy Slam is gonna do a lot
It is,
here.
yes. Oh, and they bring in the. I think the Slowbros predicted this
Yeah.
pretty well, predicting the Taurus switching back in to get the Intimidate off onto the Steelix, but boosting the Bisharp's attack with Defiant.
Now Bisharp is at +1, I believe.
Yes, it will be. I am right in saying that, aren't I? It did boost the attack. I don't remember if I saw it was.
Okay, well, it does a decent trick to Steelix and does about half to the Bisharp.
Yeah, and with the dark type, it doesn't resist the fairy, unfortunately. And the heavy slam wasn't quite enough to take out the Tapu Lele, but this is already interesting. I'm just amazed by some of the plays that they're doing, trying to preserve, reposition. Can't predict what they're going to do at all. Now, we do just go for the high horsepower into the Tapu Lele, possibly predicting maybe Raikou switches in to take the heavy slam.
And this Iron Hand is going to do a lot.
Yeah, but doesn't get the flinch. So it does mean that Bisharp goes down here. Um,
Uh, yeah, that's a good play on Kalopsia. Getting rid of the Bisharp as soon as possible.
for sure, for sure. Um, how many turns of Trick Room do we have left? Maybe two? Corey would be
I
nice
think,
here to find out the item.
yeah, yeah. I think it's either one or two.
Hmm. Uh, Slowbros have been a little bit undecisive here, not sure which mon to bring out, whether he goes for the Indeed, he risks the paralysis, or if he brings out the Gorygeist for maybe resetting the Trick Room again in a few turns.
Now here, either way, uh, or the the Gorgas is still going to take a lot, especially we just saw right now the Urshifu coming out is still going to take a lot, especially from the Urshifu. And again, it doesn't have that special defense boost that it got the first turn.
And we
So
actually
that's
see
going to be a key factor.
And we see that, yeah, you're right with the special defense boost there. We see that the Taurus was Choppleberry, so hopefully this body press still KOs through. I would imagine it would do, seeing as it's going to be using its Steelix's high defense. And Gorygeist using one of its many coverage moves, Moonblast, should OHKO this Urshifu. Urshifu, it frisked upon enter the Gorygeist frisked upon entering the field. Yeah, I
We
expected
see
if there
the
was a
detect.
detect.
Yeah,
Yeah, if there was going to be, if any of these mons had protect or detect, it was going to be shown there. Um, and this Urshifu has life orb, which means that the Slowbros are actually strongly informed at this point. So they know all the items of all the four mons that were brought.
and here Trick Room reverses, so Kalopsia gains that momentum, especially with that detect.
Yeah, I there wasn't much more the Slowbros could really have done on that turn. I don't think. Um, the Trick Room
Now
has.
it's a 3v2, and so he decides to set up Trick Room again and
Mhm.
just go for attacking move on the
I
Steelix.
I think body slam into the body press into the Urshifu is a good play there. Like the Urshifu can only target um one of these mons with the wicked blow, and the Raikou,
Oh, we see.
yeah, doesn't
Wow.
have a
Okay.
lot of coverage for both of these. So he goes for the close combat for the Steelix, but Steelix lives. Ooh, I wonder if it would have been a better idea to have gone for the Gorygeist on that last turn. But
Here,
that,
Citrus Berry procs gains most of its health back.
and we'll see how much damage this body press is going to do. Oh yeah, I mean Steelix
Yeah.
has like a 200. Oh, crit,
Crit didn't matter here because
mm.
it was minus 1 in defense.
And it's a 200 base
Yeah.
defense being used in the calc. Now it's a 3v1 situation. The Steelix is -1 in attack, so high horsepower reveals his fourth move, his third move. No, no, curse. He hasn't revealed curse. That's why I'm sorry. Yeah, I think body press in this situation actually does more damage.
Yeah, especially with its defense stat.
Yeah, and after the intimidate drop, uh, just going for the stab seed bomb. I don't think this Raikou is going to be able to do anything in this here. We see the citrus berry that was frisked earlier activate, but I would imagine that this Raikou's got extra sensory as its only coverage. It doesn't seem to be running Skull.
Oh,
Um,
I got a crit there. That's something.
yeah, unfortunately, not enough. I think the Slowbros take this game with both of these mons being able to
Yeah.
move first, 100% accuracy moves, and body press just taking it. Wow, Steelix really popped off in this game. I
Yeah.
really did well.
Again, Steelix is so strong. If you find a way to set it up correctly and put it in the right situations, is gonna take lives.
And it was able to take the close combat of the Urshifu. I don't know if that was within a roll. Being left on 10 HP could have meant that it was a very low roll. Maybe the close combat could have picked up the KO. Um, but being able to take a close combat when not at full health, that just goes to show how defensively bulky Steelix can be.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how Kalopsia readjusts in this match. Um, Now, possible leads for Kalopsia side could lead the Thwacky and possibly the Urshifu or even the Raikou would
Mm.
definitely be good leads. Or switching it up a bit with the Starmie and leading the Tapu Lele would definitely be some great readjustments. Again, I could be wrong, but those are just my personal opinions.
I think the Slowbros are opting here to bring Blaziken this game over Steelix at the moment. Um, I think they could still be bringing the Tauros in the back and just being a bit more careful about the Bisharp activating the Defiance, but it wasn't an overly huge issue. It looks like the Slowbros are going to abandon their Trick Room mode this game. I would imagine that the best way for the Darmanitans to adapt would have been to bring Urshifu up in the front to do as much front loaded damage to begin with as possible. whilst bringing some of the sweepers in the back, including like Raikou and maybe even Starmie, to deal with that Steelix. And maybe that's why the Slowbros are opting to lead Articuno this game, recognizing that the Urshifu could be a possibility.
Yep, definitely.
Um, some people when they win their first game, they'll keep to the same game strategy, but it looks like the Slowbros are opting to try and counter play what they think their opponent will be playing in response. But here we go. We do see the Urshifu and
Okay,
Thwacky lead.
so
Yeah,
I technically did get the lead right here.
yeah, you got the Thwacky, yeah. And as I say, I felt like Urshifu was the play that Kalopsia would do here, and I think the Slowbros may have felt the same, which is why they've gone for the Articuno here. But indeed, he also
And
has
here,
Dazzling Gleam.
yeah,
I would imagine it goes for Follow
yeah,
Me though. Ooh, yeah,
and
this
here,
is
yeah,
the fake
yeah.
out.
This is what we saw in the previous game, that Kalopsia resetting the Psychic Terrain into Grassy Terrain and having Fake Out is a good option here.
Yeah, um, as you say, we both you recognise the fake out as a possibility, and I, I think this is the exact situation that the slow pros intended for it. We see the fake out into the Indeedee, but not fast enough. Getting that to, Rocky Helmet recoil as well, really good here. Is this enough? Oh,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
a really
yeah.
strong turn one for the slow bros here. And I would imagine that would have caught Kalopsy a little bit off guard.
Now,
Now,
if you were to Fake Out the Articuno, this would have been a different story.
oh
Um,
yeah,
but now Kalopsia has to decide what to bring out here at the back. Okay, so he resets terrain again.
back to the psychic terrain, bringing out his scarf Tapu Lele. I would imagine Thwacky's what Miracle Seed maybe or Eviolite. I don't even know what you would run on Thwacky here. Um, looks like we're setting the tailwind. The Slowbro is being very sure on what they were going to do here. I do believe the Slowbros have found themselves in quite a strong position, getting rid of that Urshifu straight out the gate. Goes for the
Here we see
Moonblast.
Moonblast. Yeah.
Decent damage. Tailwind set. Now that Choice Scarf is meaning nothing here. We do taunt the Indeedee, which could be useful. Means that we can actually hit the Articuno. However, this double up here should. Well, I don't think Indeedee will move before the Scarf Tapu Lele.
I think I think it just depends, because I'm pretty sure Didi's. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he's going to
and
move on.
Didi is a slow. So
I wonder, with the double shadow ball button here, I'm wondering if Tapalele had targeted the Indeedee that turn, possibly would have got the roll to have KO'd the Indeedee.
we see a Drain Punch coming from the Thwacky. Not
Yeah,
enough.
no. This Indeedee being quite bulky. I'm struggling to see here how exactly Kalopsia could reposition. Like, he's got Thwacky on the field, which isn't doing too much pressure, and his last mon is the Tauros. Um, I we could
And
be looking
Articuno
at.
gets a competitive boost
Yeah,
here as well.
I think it's a quite a bold play by Kalopsia to be bringing Intimidate Mon versus the Slowbros who have got both competitive and defiance, and he's brought Tauros to both games despite knowing one's defiance, and obviously competitive is guaranteed to be the ability on one of them. I think this could be a 4 sweep in this second game.
Yeah.
That opening turn one of game two, that it was strong.
We see the icy one coming for Tauros.
Yeah,
Not something new. We've seen this before. Um, but not enough,
Double crit,
sadly.
double crit.
And you got a double crit. Okay.
But it is not enough. These crits that the Kalopsia has been getting just aren't enough. And now we have got a +4 Articuno. And I think even inside Tailwind, I think, is it still inside Tailwind? I think it is.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, Talon's still active.
even yeah, I think this is GG's. A very command. Oh, close combat is faster. Okay,
I was on it.
so we do get a KO on the Indeedee before the game is up. I think the Tailwind must have ended.
So this should be a 3-0 here.
Yeah, very commanding game two by the Slowbros. Yeah, and the air slash taking out the Taurus. I think game two just came down to the prep that the Slowbros had, reading into the. I think they managed to read their opponent well, what they would do to adjust based on how game one went. Reading that they'd be
Mm,
leading the Urshifu, they had the prep there that they could have fake out on Indeedee, even with the Thwacky there, expecting the Thwacky to be coming at some point to override the terrain, and allowed this Indeedee to just surprise Kalopsia with the fake out and just ultimately removing one of the strongest threats to the Slowbros team right off the gate.
yeah, it was kind of slightly confusing that like you mentioned before, bringing the Taurus both games, especially knowing that two of Otto's mons have abilities that bring up their stats whenever one of their stats is lowered. Um, so I feel like in both games, if he had the Starmie or even possibly the what other mon they had, or even the Urshifu in the back, one of those two options would definitely uh, considering how the battle went, would definitely help them a lot more than the battle we just saw.
Yeah. However, I don't think that the sorry, one of my dogs is just barking.
Yeah,
Um, however, I don't think the intimidate and the boost as a result of intimidate really made an overall difference to how the game went. It was, as you say, I don't know how necessary it was though, considering it's only physical mons were Blaziken, Steelix, and Gorygeist, but then Gorygeist isn't the strongest anyway. Blaziken might have been good for, and Steelix was able to just use body press, so it did seem a little bit redundant to be running, but maybe because of the Taurus was quite heavy on the support. We did see this Icy Wind, which does help against some of the mons. But again, Icy Wind dropping the stat. Um, I don't know if Taurus was the right play in that game too, but I think most importantly, the Slowbros were able to read exactly how Kalopsia would have adjusted, and it was ultimately that counter play that won them the second game.
yeah, definitely.
It was a really good game though. It was really
Yeah,
cool. Like game one, just watching them cycle through their mons, switching positioning to try and get into the best position possible. Sometimes it just to see that was really good. And then game two, as you say, this counter picking and counter strategizing in the moment for both players to figure out the best way forward.
yeah, especially in this format where we have no Dynamax, switching is a lot or way more important than it has been ever before. But yeah, G's to both opponents. Both played really well. I can't wait to see more games, and I believe we just have 3 more weeks of the regular season until playoffs.
Yeah,
So
yeah, only three
um,
more weeks.
we're getting close to playoffs, and I can't wait to see who makes that final step into playoffs.
Yeah, and for one of our teams today, that placement into playoffs is got so much closer. The Slowbros going. I think they've not even dropped a single set yet. I think they're the only team to not lose a single set, um, going 5 wins and 10 individual game wins with no losses. And Kalopsia, his final few weeks will be a little bit more challenging with the getting a second loss of the season. He's currently 3-2. He's still within easy range of getting that wild card or second placement. But we'll see what these last few
Mhm.
weeks have in store for both players.
Yep. I think that's all. That's all for me here.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys later.
Thanks for coming. Bye.